COVID-19 blog number 2. It's Sunday the 22nd of March. My name is Steve Mole and I'm here again with Martin Marshall, RCGP Chair. Today's topic is personal protective equipment. Martin, I've been a partner for 20 years and I've never been more concerned about the safety of my team. I've got 2 GPs, 1 receptionist currently affected by COVID-19. I felt it was pretty underwhelming, to be honest, when we received our packs of PPE. It was barely the size, I think, of 2 9-packs of toilet rolls. There are all sorts of concerns going out there. What kind of things are you hearing as chair of the college?
Yeah, we're hearing similar stories to yours, Steve, from GPs around the country. So some GPs are saying, look, we just don't understand what the guidance is. The guidance isn't clear enough. Quite a few GPs are saying, we don't know whether we've got enough supplies, particularly over the next few weeks as the crisis deepens. And then some people are saying, have we got the right sort of protective equipment? Because you can see some of our colleagues working in the hospital who seem to have much more robust protective equipment than we're being given at the moment.
And do you think there will be enough supplies? Do you think there is a supply chain there from NHS England? What are they saying?
So NHS England are saying that there are adequate supplies at the moment. They were aware that some of those supplies were slow at getting through and that it was patchy in different parts of the country. Over the last few days, they say they've increased the supply chain. There's now a 7-day-a-week service, 24 hours a day. So they say that every practice should have adequate supplies now. If they haven't, we really want to hear that so that we can feed that back.
And we asked Professor Trish Greenhouse at the Centre for Evidence-Based Medicine at the University of Oxford, very clever and at times outspoken academic. We asked her for her analysis of whether these masks are any good. What do you think the take-home messages are from her analysis?
This is an important question because we know that a lot of GPs are anxious that the standard masks are not adequate for the kind of conditions and patients that we're seeing, and that there is a higher fidelity mask which is being used by some other people. Now, those high fidelity masks at the moment, there is a shortage of supply, and they are being used by priority groups, and that's any group that's working with aerosols. So in particular, people who are working in ITUs, people sometimes who are working in casualty departments, dentists as well. Now, we asked Trish whether the standard mask was good enough. She conducted a quick systematic review. Interestingly, most of the data came from the Chinese Cochrane collaboration, very prestigious academic collaboration. They've done a lot of work on the effectiveness of different mask types, not necessarily for COVID yet, because of course COVID hasn't been around long enough, but for other similar virus types. And what the evidence suggests is that the standard mask is more than good enough for the vast majority of people. So that's reassuring. It's based on 6 large randomized controlled trials, total of more than 9,000 patients.
So I know we're both in clinic tomorrow. Are you going to be are you going to be able to be pretty confident with your colleagues and look them straight in the eye and say, actually, these, as far as we know at the moment, these masks are fit for purpose?
Yes, I think we can do. I mean, of course, there's imponderables, there's uncertainties. That's the world we're kind of living in at the moment. But as far as the evidence is concerned at the moment, it does seem to confirm what Public Health England have been telling us for some weeks, that the mask equipment that we've got is adequate. Now, I think there are questions about the aprons, particularly given that the aprons that we're getting in general practice have no sleeves, and there's a question about whether we should have a full body cover for the aprons. And there's also questions, I think the gloves are fine, but there's also questions about eye protection, because if we're in any territory where there might be splashes, then the WHO advice is that we should be using eye protection, and most practices simply don't have that at the moment. So there still are some significant and important questions that we need to address.
Well, I must say, from my point of view, we've simply bought simple eyewear, which I think offers good protection. I'll be wearing just simple, safety specs, which only cost a couple of. I think there's 2 issues here for me. It's whether or not, if someone coughs in my face, then potentially droplet. If I'm close enough, the droplet could get into my eyes. I'm always worried about what I'm doing with my hands as well. I think if I've actually got specs on and I've got gloves on, I think the chance of me actually rubbing my eye with my gloved hand, I think it's pretty low, but wearing specs on top of that just gives me that extra level of protection.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question about when we should be wearing this equipment, because maybe, you know, this is such a fast moving field. A couple of weeks ago, we were fairly clear when somebody might have COVID. If they had the clinical signs and they had a history of travel or contact with somebody who traveled, then we knew we had to take care. Right now, we know that it's circulating in the community, and basically any patients that we see could have COVID. Now, you know, we all know that the number of face-to-face consultations is going down dramatically. I think that's a really big question, and we simply don't know the answer to that at the moment. Some practices want to be, you know, very careful with the risk and might well suggest that they should be wearing it. Others aren't. But if we do wear protective equipment for every single consultation, then the chances of supplies running out sooner are that much greater.
Martin, I know you're on the phone every day to the top powers that be in the NHS and Department of Health. What are your sort of top lobbying messages around PPE over the next few days?
We're saying to them, we want to be absolutely certain that the equipment that we've got is good enough. We don't want the equipment to be sector specific. It's no good saying you just don't need high risk equipment in general practice, when actually increasingly we're going to be seeing high risk patients in the same way as they are in hospital sectors. So we're making that point very clear as well. And we want to be reassured about the supply chain, that there will be adequate supplies as we need them.
Sounds good to me. I know I meet our staff every day. At the beginning of every day, I remind them about the equipment. I remind them about how to wear it. I think really useful videos, etc. I think our main message is to everyone out there is be careful and be safe. And we're very much thinking about them and doing everything we can to raise this really important issue. So thank you so much, Martin. And we'll be back with another vlog very soon.